Hello everyone. I'm a little early, but I got a lot of work to do afterwards. I got nothing done today that I was supposed to get done. So I'm hoping that a bunch of people will come on today. You're all stuck in the house, so you should want to come and see me. So I'm going to give you a few seconds to get here. And we will wait till somebody comes on because we got really 3 minutes. So Sandra, Sandra's here. Sandra is one of our admins in the frankincense group, and we have 3 minutes. So we need more than Sandra to come in. So I'm not talking to myself. So I'm going to move over my keyboard a little bit. Ha ha ha, funny, funny, funny. So I don't like talking to myself. Hi Stephanie, hi Jonathan. Waiting for a few more of you to show up because we do have 2 minutes. So I see 3 people right now. There's a 4th, but I don't see them. So until you make yourself known, I don't see you. So right now it only shows 3. And the 3 that are here are Sandra, Stephanie, and Jonathan. So we'd like to have a couple of more than just 3 people. So other than Jonathan, Stephanie, and Sandra, because I know you're here, who's the 4th? Who's the 5th? Who else is here? Tell me that you're here. Tell me your name. Or, well, you can't tell me your name because I'll see it. But at least say hi. Say hi, Robin. There are now 6 people here. So we have another minute. Who else is here? Because there is a delay in Facebook. So all I want you to do is do that. Say hi. So I know that there are other people here other than the 3 of you. So still waiting. We have another minute. The weather here is dreary. I don't know how the weather is by you, but it's rained here all day. So you would think I'd be able to get everything done in the rain, except that I got nothing done. So, because this phone hasn't stopped ringing all day, and I wound up getting absolutely nothing done. So I'm hoping that enough that you make it worth my while and enough of you come on here. Lori's here. Oh, it's raining there too? Yeah, isn't it terrible when it rains? Hi, Lori. It's really yucky when it rains. So, I mean, if you have to be stuck here, well, I don't know. If you have to be stuck here, maybe it's better if it rains. But it's supposed to rain here tomorrow too. So, well, it's almost April, so you know the saying, April showers bring May flowers. So, at least there's a reason for rain. So, there are 6 people here, and you guys, so the ones that see this later, you really need to, what do you mean it's not allowing me to invite? Invite who? I don't know why it's not allowing you to invite. But the people who actually want to come see this, you need to come on time. So that if you have a question, and I don't have to repeat myself again, because you're here when everybody else shows up. So, otherwise you're going to ask a question and then I'm going to have to repeat it. So but I'm going to start because it is 5:01 and I'd like to get some of my own work done today. We're going to talk about Opoponax, which is very similar to myrrh. Actually, the tree looks almost the same. Its Latin name, and of course I'm going to pronounce this wrong because I like Commiphora Myrrh. That's easy to say. But this one is Commiphora guiddoti. Why can't they come up with decent Latin names is beyond me. I think they just like to get our tongues tied. But before I say anything, this resin's going to go on sale starting tomorrow at my Etsy shop with 10% off. So the sale starts tomorrow. Also, my book is still on pre-sale until April 1st. And the URL is in the website, is in the frankincense group. If you're not sure, scroll up and down. If you're definitely not sure, you can ask me. It's pre-selling for $20. Its retail price is $24.99. And I can show you the other one. I'm waiting for a change because the margins were bad. So I'm waiting for an update of it. But this is the book. So this is the back, and this is the inside. But in this version, the margins were a little off. So I sent them back a new one. See, that's the inside. I sent them back a new one to fix. So I'm waiting for that one to come to me, which will take another week or two because of this wonderful virus. Everything is backlogged. Everything is backlogged. I'm waiting for more resins. I'm getting resins on Porphyria, and it's backlogged. So, but everything seems to be backlogged. So, unfortunately, that's the way it goes. But I did say 4 to 6 weeks to get the book, and if you want the discount version, you have until April 1st. After that, it'll be $24.99. For those that are in a foreign country, there are instructions on my website on what you need to do, and all you need to do is follow those instructions. And it'll tell you how to get my book. The Opoponax is actually called Opoponax. I always pronounce it wrong. Is called sweet myrrh, and the reason they call it sweet myrrh is because it's not as bitter as myrrh. It has a very sweet smell. It's grown in Somaliland, in Somalia, in Kenya, and Eastern Ethiopia. It's got the natural oleogum resin like myrrh, and it's tapped the same way, where basically the resin falls off the tree onto the ground, or it's wild harvested where an animal will rub itself up against the tree and the resin will fall down, and then it's picked up by collectors. The resin has a earthy, sweet-like fragrance, very similar to, some people feel it actually is like a balsam and lavender mixed. And you know what? I think they're right. Even though it's not lavender, it sort of smells like lavender. The essential oil for the resin is actually used a lot in making perfumes, and the resin itself is used for incense and also for perfumes. They're not sure if maybe this resin was the one that was given to the baby Jesus, because it looks so much similar, and I'm going to show you the similarities between the two. and it smells better. Why give something bitter to a baby? So they're really not sure whether or not this particular resin was given to the baby Jesus, but the Opoponax is more orangey in color, while the Myrrh is more reddish in color. And as I said, the difference between them is basically the smell. What it's used for. It can be used to make skin look fresh and lovely. It's known also to reduce minor pain and inflammation. Some native cultures, especially Somalia and and Ethiopia, use it for digestion and also use it for lung congestion. So in the essential oil, when I was learning it in my certification, it basically was explained that it's used more for digestion than anything else. So you can make it a salve and make it into a salve or a lotion and actually rub it on your stomach and use it for digestion to make things flow and move a little easier. The resin, and I'm going to show you a piece of the resin. Let's get it out here. Let me get a bigger piece of it. Okay. The resin, it's hard to tell in here, but you could see, can you see, because my camera is lousy, but I'm trying to show you it's more of an orange type color. Let's see. It's hard to tell, but this piece is even better. So you can see here it's more orangey. And I'm trying to find a piece. How about that? Oh, look at that. See, this piece is actually more, it's color. As I said, my camera is not the greatest because it's coming off of, let's see if you could see this piece. Oh, you see the red, the orange in here? That's basically what it looks like. I'm trying to get a good view of it, but that's what it is. Smells fantastic. I think it smells very similar. Yeah, you can see the orange tones. As I said, my camera is lousy, so it's much more orangey than this. And if you go to my website, my Etsy website, you'll see the color is much better because my iPhone is a lot clearer than the laptop that I'm using for this. But you can basically see, let's see, I'm trying to get it so that the camera will pick up the orange tones, but you could see the orange tones, and this piece has more of it in it. Let's see, you see the orange tones over here, right over here? That is more how the piece is. So now, I will hold up, because I'm opposite. So this hand here is Myrrh. And this one is Opoponax. So they're very similar. I get you a piece that looks very similar. And without the orange, it's very hard to tell the difference. So let's see. This is an interesting piece too. You see the orange in it? Let's go with this one and go with this Myrrh. So this is Myrrh and this is Opoponax. And they actually feel the same. If you hold them in your hands, they feel the same. That one smells bitter. That one smells sweet. So when you burn this, it's a really nice sweet smell. And as I said, it's great. It's used more for digestion, to add digestion, and so is the essential oil. The essential oil is used more for digestion and indigestion. I'm told it's very good for indigestion also. I've done it. I actually infuse this. I don't have too much left. I only have a little bit, but I plan to infuse more of it. And I massaged it right by my esophagus, and I found it actually helped with indigestion. So it does help with indigestion. It's very hard. Just like myrrh, it's extremely hard to break. So my suggestion to you, and I broke off, the smaller pieces are easier to break off. And you can see the orange inside the little piece that I just broke off. But the bigger pieces like this one, I can't even get it to break off. You basically, it's all the gum is stuck to it. I would put it into the freezer and then chop it with a hammer and to break it off, and then infuse it. If you want to burn it, you can leave it like this, because it will burn nicely like this, because it's hard. The same thing with myrrh. Myrrh is very hard also. This is myrrh, and it's a very, very hard resin. So I would definitely freeze it and then smash it with a hammer before you actually use it. So that's basically it with this resin. It's a really nice, beautiful resin. It's got a lot of different uses, and it smells extremely good. And it's wonderful. And tomorrow, as I said, it's going on sale. I haven't put it up yet because I've been so busy today that I haven't had the chance to put it up. So it will go on tomorrow, 10% off if you want it, on any of the sizes. So I actually like the smell of it. It's very sweet. So, and it's a very nice resin compared to the myrrh. The myrrh that is bitter, but the myrrh is great for wound healing, excellent for wound healing, and has very good inflammation properties in it too. So they each have their own. So anybody have any questions? Anybody? Because last time I had to pull teeth to get questions out of you. So, tell me. Here's a big bag of Opoponax. So, anybody got any questions for me? Because I don't have any comments except mine and Brenda's. So, and the fact that it's raining. So, next week I'm going to do Revere, which is also a beautiful resin and has an incredible smell. So, also, so you know, I still have a sale until the end of March on Sacra. If you buy Sacra, and if you buy 4 ounces of my green Sacra, and you buy 4 ounces of first grade Fariana, you'll get the burner half price. So that's until the end of March. So is the smallest amount on Etsy like an ounce? No. An ounce is very tiny. I have an ounce of, let me see if I have, ounces are small. It comes in a small bag about this big. But I do have, if you go on the website, I have 2 ounces and up. But if you go on the website, I have sample packages that you could buy. There's from column A and from column B. In fact, hold on a second. I'll show you how big an ounce is. Give me a second. See if I can find where I put them. Ah, here they are. Okay. So, here are the packages for the ounces. So, let me open the package. So I'm doing, these are the sizes of the packages. So like this one's a neglector. So if I hold my hand up, you can see how big. This is an ounce. And I have each one separate. And this is Myrrh. I don't remember if I did one. Oh, I did one with a Opoponax. There are two separate bags. Here's a Opoponax. Right here. So that's what you get. You get, I don't know, about 3, 4, or 5 pieces of it. Enough to play with. And I have two sets. Two sets of resins. There's 5 in each set. So you can check out each one. This one has the green sakura in it also. One set has the green sakura in it. And serrata. And Feriana. Nice pieces of Feriana. These are all ounces. And Katari. That's one set. And there's 2 sets. And I try to combine all of them together so you can try each set. So the other set has neglector. And it has Myrrh. You can see how big it is. And I gave you a full ounce. And this is the 2nd grade Feriana. So you get a nice set of pieces in here to really play with. This one is the Katari bark. And last but not least is the Revere. So there's enough in here for you to really play with. You get one of each. And you get to try them out, and then you get to decide, whoa, not dropping them like I almost did. And so that's how you can see what an ounce is like. Every resin is different for an ounce because some resins are bigger than the other. So, for instance, let me see if I can get a different size. All right, so here's Feriana. All right. And here's neglector. So they're similar. They're very similar because these are similar. This one's the Feriana is a little bigger because the pieces are bigger. And this one is neglector and the pieces are a little smaller. So, but they're still all an ounce. So, an ounce, so that you know, if you decide you want to infuse it, it's an ounce to 8 ounces of carrier oil. So you get, and 8 ounces a lot. So you could use half an ounce to 4 ounces of carrier oil and make a nice infusion. It doesn't have to be a big infusion, but it could be a nice infusion. And since you get 5 to play with, you pick out which 5 of each set you want. I did it basically because people say, I don't know what to buy. Well, now I made it easier for you to buy it. So, and Opoponax is in one of these sets. So I figured I'd put 5 of them together, of each of them. So you can either buy both sets or you can buy one set. That's your choice. And this way, you can sample. They're called a sample pack. So this way you can sample and decide which ones you want for yourself. So, anybody else? So, yeah, it's hard to visualize what a cup, how much is in a couple of ounces. But 2 ounces, you're going to get double that. So, and 4 ounces, you're going to get double that again. So, you know, you might get bigger pieces from me, you might get smaller pieces from me, but I tell you something. Do I have a favorite resin overall? 2. I have 2 favorite resins overall. Neglecta is one, and Fariana is my other. Those are my 2 favorite, if you want to put it on top. And then underneath that is Katari and Sakura. And I like Serrata a lot. It's just very hard to get. I have Serrata, but if you're not on blood thinners, then Serrata is wonderful for any type of inflammation. So I'm on blood thinners, so I have to be very careful when I use Serrata because it does affect my my INR levels. So I have to monitor very carefully when I'm on when I use Serrata. So, but Fariana is excellent for inflammation, and Neglector I like more for anxiety and to open up the lungs, especially if you have pneumonia. It's very good for that. And also mixing Opoponax with Neglecta. If you make 2 infusions and you mix the 2 of them together and then you massage it on your lungs, it even opens up the congestion and allows you to breathe even better. Because you can mix. People say to me, can I put the 2 resins in the carrier oil and do it that way? No, I don't recommend it because you're not going to pull everything that you need to pull out of it. So I'd rather you do 1 infusion of one infusion of another, and then take 4 ounces or 2 ounces of one and 2 ounces of another, mix them together once you've strained it and use it that way. Or you can make 4 ounces of one and 2 ounces of another, depending on which one works better for you and you just need a boost. Do I have a favorite carrier oil to infuse? Yes, I infuse mostly in jojoba and fractionated coconut oil. Fractionated coconut oil could be a little drying, so it depends on your skin and also if you're not allergic to nuts. So jojoba is very nice also because it's very good. I recommend definitely using jojoba with Katari, because Katari is excellent for the skin and so is jojoba. So you're getting the best of 2 worlds. So those are my favorite. You can experiment and do it with any carrier oil. Some people will use safflower oil. Some people will use argan oil. Argan oil is expensive, so you might not want to use it because it's so expensive. And you can use olive oil, but olive oil has a smell. The olive oil that I know of has a smell, and it overpowers the resin a little bit. So I try not to I want to bring the smell out of the resin out more than anything else. So jojoba has no smell, very little smell. Fractionated coconut oil has absolutely no smell. So using those 2, and the advantage of jojoba and fractionated coconut oil is they have a very long shelf life. Now frankincense has its own natural preservative, so as long as you use carrier oil that has a long shelf life, it could last you between 2 and 3 years, depending on the shelf life of the carrier oil. It always works on the shelf life of the carrier oil that you're using with resins. If the carrier oil only lasts a year, that's all you're going to get, is a year. So you want to use a decent carrier oil. As I said, the same thing. I don't like using olive oil because it has a smell of its own, and I don't know. It's also too thick. It's very, very thick, and so it takes away from the resin. So the resin gets very thick when you infuse it to begin with. So when you use the olive oil, it gets even thicker, but then you have the funny smell of the olive oil, and I technically don't like that smell of the two together. So I try not to use olive oil for that. I use mostly olive oil if I want to infuse like rosemary. I have rosemary plants outside, or mint where they're edible, and I'll use it in cooking. That's basically what I use olive oil for. Anybody else? I can't wait to get my book either. Brenda says I'm going to place an Etsy order tomorrow for sure, and I can't wait to get your book. I can't wait to get my book either because they made a mistake in the book and they have to fix it. So they have to send me a new book. So once they get it all straight, then I will order them and start shipping them. So I have to make sure that one book is correct. But it's all done. It just has to be printed right. And they have a delay also because they're short-staffed. So, yeah, very frustrating, let me tell you. I'm very frustrated because everything came out great except they screwed up the cover and they printed the book backwards. But other than that, everything's fine. So, I'm calling them tomorrow to get them to fix it so they can ship me out fast another book. They told me they are short-handed, very short-handed, because people have gotten sick on them and they're trying to hire staff, and I think the biggest problem is that they're hiring staff that doesn't know what they're doing, because they should know better before they send out a book. The book should look good before they actually ship it to me. I'm paying them for that, so it should come well. So, backwards. They printed the book backwards. That's error. Somebody did not check the book before they sent it to me. So, luckily I caught it when I opened it up and couldn't understand why the references were in the front and not the back. So, and then I realized they printed the book backwards. So now they have to fix it and send me a new book. So hopefully they'll send it real fast so that I could start ordering books correctly and have them sent out to everybody who was gracious enough to do a pre-sale with me. So, but I'm told by other authors that this happens a lot. That's why you don't order the main book and ship it out, because it's human error. And they did a good human error this time. So I will be on the phone with them tomorrow to fix this so they can send me a new book. But because I would like to get the book out too. So I worked very hard on that book. It took me 2 years to write it. And I would like to get this book out. So such is life. This is what the virus does. When you're stuck, you're stuck. And then shipping, unfortunately, is all backed up. So I'm actually shipping from my office. I'm now having them pick up the books. I mean, not the books, pick up my packages, because I really don't want to go into the post office. I'd like to stay healthy. So far, knock wood, I'm fine. So I'm washing my hands. I'm taking vitamin C. I am taking vitamin D. I'm watching my immune system. I'm making sure nobody comes near me. And I'd like to stay healthy. So if anybody doesn't have any more questions, I will sign off, and then this will go into the Facebook page, and then I will re-put, the Etsy site is sitting up on top, and I will re-put the Etsy site in the comments, and where you can pick up the pre-book up until April 1st. After April 1st, it'll be full price, but you won't see the full price until the book is printed. So until I get all the books, then I'll put in, once I know my book is fine, then I will put in the regular price. So everybody stay safe. And if you have any other questions, I can answer them in the group. Take care. God bless.